Good morning, everyone. We're going to do another hike today. I'm starting this video inside the van today because it's still a little chilly and dark outside right now. It's weather app says it's 49 degrees, but it feels like it's 43. Today we're doing the Thompson Peak Trail here at the Sawtooth Mountains in Idaho. This trail, if you go all the way to the top of the peak, is 12.5 miles, a little over 4,000 feet of climbing. But I'm not sure if we're going to go all the way to the peak today. I think we might just go to the lake, which should bring us to about 8 or 9 miles, maybe 10. I'm not quite sure. Well, I'll know when I get there. And I don't know. I'll make a game time decision about going to the peak or not. I brought my micro spikes just in case, because I think there is still some snow up there. So we're going to get started here shortly. Star's going to join me. Where's Star? There's Star. Star's resting before we go. Okay, we're going to go outside in a second and we'll get this started. We're about a mile into the hike, and up to this point it's been mostly flat. It looks like we're going to start doing some climbing going up this hill here. There's some pretty light right now on the Sawtooth. No clouds. Nice light nonetheless. Star, you having fun? Star's having fun. Okay, we're going to start climbing up here. After 1 3/4 mile hiking and 600 feet of elevation gain, there's a little side trail if you look for it off to your left, and it'll bring you to this spot where you can get this epic view. Two and a half miles into the hike and 900 feet of climbing. There were some steep sections and some gentler slopes bringing you up here. But there's been a nice flat section last couple hundred yards. Lets you catch your breath a little bit. Well, you know, I've seen deer tracks almost the entire time on the trail, but I haven't seen any deer. Deer, see? I said the word deer and gets Star's attention right away. So maybe we'll see some. I know Star will see them first. Actually, she'll probably smell them first. So if we see some deer, I'll video that. But we're doing good. It's warming up a little bit. It's a lot more comfortable now. I brought some hand warmers, have those in my pocket, which helps keep my hands warm because of my Raynaud's. My hands get cold pretty easily. All right. If I see some deer or we get an interesting view, I'll turn this back on. I'm almost 3 miles into the hike, and you need permits to hike the trail. There was one of these boxes down to the trailhead, but there weren't any permit slips in there. And there was some loose leaf paper, and there was 2 pens, but the pens didn't work, so I couldn't do anything. I just checked this box. Once again, no slips. There's 2 pens in there. I don't know if they work or not, but there's no slips. But the last 2 hikes that I did, I had slips. No one bothered to check for it, so I don't know how big of a deal it is. Maybe because they don't restock it, they don't check it anymore. Don't know. And this sign's telling us that we're entering the Sawtooth Wilderness, Sawtooth National Forest. Let's take a quick trip over here. A little side trail, give us a nice little view again. Which way do we want to go? Let's go this way. Beautiful Sawtooth Mountains. Now, there was a fire here, I believe it was last year, and I'll zoom in a little bit. And you see all those brown trees? They're supposed to be green. There's a few green ones mixed in, but most of them are brown. They're either dead or dying. It's a shame. I don't know what started that fire. I don't know if it was lightning or man-made, but it happens all the time. All right, more hiking. Just came up this steep section here. Fortunately, it wasn't that long, but it looks like we're coming up to a nice little view up here. You know, I read the trail reviews. I saw one or two people say there weren't any mosquitoes, but trust me, they're here. Stand still too long, they'll find you. All right, let's climb to the top here. If I see anything, I'll show you. Okay, that last half mile wasn't fun. Follows along the edge of this canyon. What happened to my zoom? Follow along that canyon, and it's a long way down. I was holding on to as many rocks as I could. It goes on, like I say, for at least a half mile. It goes around the bend there. And there's places where there's no trail, you have to climb over rocks. So it wasn't very much fun, it took my time. Now we got this steep climb. I can't even get up there. Oops, let me zoom back out. We got to climb up there. I think we're pretty close to the lake though. I'll show you when I get up there. Well, the rock scramble wasn't too bad. I much like doing that better than walking along the edge of that canyon cliff. But the rock scramble was over there. A little bit of water over here. When you look over here, there's been a lot of rocks rolling down from up in those peaks. And if I swing a little more over here, I believe that's Mount Thompson right there. But I'm going to tell you right now, I've already made my decision. We're not climbing up to the peak. We're going to make it to the lake, which is a little further this way. And that's as far as we're going to go. I need to conserve some energy for the trip back down. I want to make sure my legs are still into it going across that narrow little canyon cliff wall. Like I said, I don't think we have very far to get to the lake, so I'll show you that when we get there. 5.4 miles and 2,456 feet of climbing. We've reached the lake. That's Mount Thompson right there. Right below it is the lake. And if I pan a little to the left here, we'll see some good examples of some Sawtooth mountains. Still a decent amount of snow up here. It's a nice little breeze up here. It's nice and cool. I got my short sleeve shirt on, but it's comfortable. I'm going to hang here for a little bit. Star and I are going to have some water, and then we'll start making our way back down. It's another 1,800 feet of climbing to get to the top of that. There's no way I'm doing that. Not today. Maybe if I was 20 years younger. Some nice little mountains over here too. I don't know if I mentioned it, but this took almost exactly 3 hours to get here. I sat down, took a little bit of a break, had some water. Now it's time to head back down. Wind's picking up. Sorry for the wind noise. I do have the windsock on, but it's still going to sound windy. But I hate leaving here. It's a beautiful place. But we got to head back down. Star's waiting for me. Where's she at? There she is. Star, you ready to go back? She didn't even want to sit up at the lake. She wanted to go right away. All right, we got to make our way down there and down that rock scramble. So, and then that ledge. That's the worst part of it. So I probably won't record anything until after that. Almost back to the trailhead. Very happy to make it down here very, very safely. What a great hike. Nice, easy trail to follow. Very clean, except for the horse poop. Watch out for the horse poop. And what a great view at the lake. I would give this a moderate to hard rating, depending on your physical ability and your hiking experience. If you're just going to the lake, if you're going to go climb up to the peak, it's definitely a hard. That's a hard hike. Excuse me. But, I enjoyed that greatly, and I hope you did too. I'm going to put the hike totals up now. And I'm going to head back to the van. We're almost there. I can see the parking lot from here. Wash up a little bit, have some lunch. Star, what'd you think of the hike? Star, can you wait before we cross the road? Wait. Thank you. Wait. Star, come here. You gotta, sometimes she just doesn't listen. Go ahead, go. Anyway. Appreciate you watching, and thanks to all the new subscribers that we've gotten. Thank you for everybody who hits the like button and comments. That's very important for the algorithm. And until the next time, keep smiling. Remember, all shall be well, and most importantly, be grateful for everything you have. So much to be grateful for. Okay, until the next time, love you all. Bye-bye.